Hi everyone, my name is Tony Rosati, and I've been learning Perl. Hi Tony. It started in February 2011 when I got this great job. My hair is a little crazy from learning Perl, but it's been worth it. This is my drawing of NCAR, the National Center for Atmospheric Research. I was so excited. I was going to be working with data and climate models, and I got to deal with basic HTML and wikis, and finally I was doing techie stuff. But when I got to the job and I'm learning, it turned out there was a whole bunch of stuff I didn't know. I have this notebook of all the notes that I took when I was just starting out, and if it were a real notebook, I'd turn the pages for you. That would give you guys all a really good laugh. Let's put it this way. I didn't know how to change a directory in a terminal. Certainly didn't know how to SSH or use Emacs, which I do now. But my boss was really awesome. This is him with the fun mustache. He knew Perl. There were already a bunch of Perl scripts working for our website, and so there was no sense in both of us learning a new language. There was a lot of work to do. Projects must be complete. Essentially, we'd open up a script, and he'd show me how and why Perl was doing what it was doing, and then he'd leave, and I got to alter it to try to meet our needs, and I'd break it, and I'd fix it, and I'd break it, and I'd fix it, and whenever I was really frustrated, he'd come in and say, oh, okay, we can do it this way. And eventually, I just didn't need him to come in nearly as much. I actually know some stuff. Woot! So this whole experience, I feel really, really lucky because Seth McGinnis is awesome. But I wanted more. And so what was I to do? There's PHP, there's Java, there's Ruby, there's Python, there's all sorts of stuff. And I have two very close friends, and one of them was a diehard PHP person, and another one is a diehard Ruby guy. Long story short, Ruby guy won. I did a summer internship called SciParks through NCAR. It's the summer internship in parallel and computational science. The whole point of the project was to take NCAR data sets and improve their discovery. So essentially I was looking at RDF, Resource Description Framework, and schema.org and comparing these markups. There was a ton to do. This is supposed to be a picture of my wall in my cubicle. There's a ton of stuff, and project needs to be done, and so I used Perl, because I knew Perl already. Hence, the crazy hair once again. So I did it in Perl. Oh, you poor thing. This is me, looking all pretty once again. So, back then I messed with some of the online Ruby tutorials, where the terminal is embedded in the web page. And it was really good. I got a taste of how natural the Ruby language is. It kept me away from PHP. But the big turning point for me was Railsbridge at the end of July. It was at QuickLeft here in Boulder. And man, let me tell you, I looked forward to doing that for easily 6 weeks. I think I was maybe the second person to sign. So I had partied with Ruby people, but they didn't really know how serious I was. But Railsbridge really turned things around, having the help to install everything properly, understand the framework. It was great. Hey, there's me again. Clearly my drawing isn't nearly as pretty the second time around. I also tried a Hackfest, but it was a little too much for me to deal with. So I had a lot of conversations with people and still asked questions. Going to talks at Pivotal Labs in Boulder was really good for me. Being in the science world, I'm comfortable absorbing what I can from talks or presentations or conversations that are more advanced than I am. I remember the topic of that particular night was concurrence, and it ended up really helping me later on. But I won a tutorial book, and I literally shouted and did a little fist pump and jumped out of my chair when I did win. So I know I'm pretty silly, but I'm really determined and passionate, and it meant a lot to me. The Rocky Mountain Ruby on Rails had an opportunity scholarship. I went to a lot of women, a lot of us newbies, and at the conference I got a Sherpa and had a one-on-one mentor for those couple of days. It's almost like my fate was sealed with that. So here's me smiling. So I'm still at the beginning level, internship level if I'm lucky, but I know I'll make it because the Denver Boulder Ruby community is just totally awesome. They now know that I'm serious, and I know they're going to put in just as much effort to answer all my questions as I am to learning just about everything I possibly can. So yeah, time is maybe the biggest challenge, but the Ruby community is the greatest treasure. Thanks for listening.